So of course, with the new MGO Connect customer portal, you have a branded customer portal. It now will display your jurisdiction logos, all of your imagery and photography, and then as a customer applies online, they'll see all of your application types, complete their application, and submit their application, right? We all know that works extremely well, no issues there. Customers can apply online and then move forward with you guys now receiving that application and reviewing it. So as a jurisdiction member, this is just simply illustrating how you would access the application queue and then select the application that you wish to review at that time. Now, you can also assign an application to an individual user in your office. So if you have, 4 or 5 permit techs, you can actually assign the applications out. And I want you to know why that's important. If you are assigning applications to various team members so that, you're spreading your workload around, things of that nature, in the new MGO Connect jurisdiction portal, we now will be rolling out a new centralized department queue, or task queue is what we now are branding it. And if you've assigned tasks to those individual users, they actually will see all of the work assigned to them in their centralized queue. For example, they will see the applications that are waiting to be processed in the same queue, that if they are also a plan reviewer and they have plan review tasks to be completed as well or worked on, they no longer have to go separately to an application queue and separately to their department queue that you guys are familiar with today. They will now have a centralized task queue and they can work from that one central location. That is going to be a phenomenal manner of bringing more efficiency to your offices. Okay? Now from there, of course, once you open the application, you would do the typical various things that are prudent to your application intake process, such as validating the address of the property and looking over the various fields that they've answered or questions that they've answered at the time of the application. Of course, you can make comments within the application, and then that comment will appear to the applicant, particularly when you return the application back to them so that they can address whatever that comment is. And of course, you have 4 options that you can actually utilize, which are retrieving an application, returning an application, you can reject an application, and you can accept an application. And then this is just simply talking about the various functions of rejecting an application. That simply means, hey, they applied to the wrong jurisdiction, you don't want them submitting it anymore, and effectively, make it go away, and they would get alerted that you have deleted the application, if you will. Returning it is much more common, of course. That would be if you need to just simply return the application with a quick comment. Perhaps there's something in the files they uploaded or documents that are missing. You can retrieve an application. This is with certain user role permissions, but of course, if you inadvertently returned an application to an applicant and you want to sort of recall that application back to your application queue, the retrieve button allows you to do that. And then finally, accepting the application would then allow you to transition that application into an actual project number. And in doing so, you will also bring in the files, and this gives you an opportunity to rename any of the files that were uploaded by the customer so that you can have sort of your own naming convention assigned to each of those files. And then of course, you're basically at that point, your project is created. All of the various fields that the applicant answered that make sense to be populated into the project page fields will all be carried over into the project, of course. And basically, in a nutshell, this is basically setting you up to proceed on to plan review and other factors that would go into the process of permitting that particular project. So that's basically it for online application processing.